Hi everyone, today we're going to be working with adding and subtracting linear expressions. We're going to begin with an addition of a linear expression. Let's review a little bit on linear expressions. They are expressions that carry numbers with variables and constants, numbers that are by themselves. We are looking at a first degree, meaning that you will not see x squared or x cubed. We are only going to be working with first degree expression variables. So to begin, we're going to be looking at this addition linear expression. Now, the thing with linear expressions, you have to remember that whenever you see a plus sign, like on this one, nothing's going to change. The second expression here will not change. So one of the first steps is to remove the parentheses. So I'm just going to go ahead and look at this expression. It has 7x plus 3 plus 5x minus 7. So parentheses are eliminated. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of cross it out. Actually, let me do this. Let me cross it out as if they no longer exist. So they're no longer there. And whenever it is a plus, it really does not change anything. So my first step is to eliminate the parentheses. It's going to make a difference when we get to number 2. That is going to change. So that means I now have 7x plus 3 plus 5x minus 7. Again, this was an addition one. So I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms. I'm going to combine 7x and 5x, and they're both positive. And we learned last week that combining like terms means that we are allowed to add or subtract the terms as long as they carry the same variable, or if they're constant, meaning numbers by themselves, like 3 and 7. So 7x plus 5x, we're looking at 12x. And then you have plus 3 minus 7. And let's go back to our integer rules, which is different signs. We're going to go ahead and subtract. So it's like subtracting 7 minus 3, which is 4. And I'm going to go ahead and keep it negative. Why negative? Well, because 7, the absolute value of negative 7 is 7. And 7 is negative. So I'm going to keep that negative sign with me. And that is my final answer. Number 2. Now, with number 2, we now have subtraction of linear expressions. So there's going to be a little bit of a change here. We're going to have to take this negative and we're going to go ahead and distribute it because we need to get rid of this. If it would have been a plus, it would have just not changed the value of the second parentheses, but in this case, it will change it. So you're going to distribute as if you were multiplying. Remember, the distributive property means multiplication. So I'm going to go ahead and take negative times a negative 2x. That means I now have a positive 2x because a negative times a negative is a positive. And I have negative times a positive is a negative 6. And the first expression, you're just going to go ahead and kind of bring it down. I'm not going to bring it down only, well, I can to make it easier. I was just going to remove the parentheses for you. But let's just go ahead and bring it down. So 5x minus 7. Now I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms. So 5x can be combined with 2x, and they're both positive, so my answer here is 7x. And I can combine negative 7 and minus 6. They're both negative, same signs. You're going to go ahead and add, and your answer here is negative 13. We keep it negative because our rule says same signs you can add, and you must keep your sign. So 7x minus 13 is my answer here. Next one also changes, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute that negative to the 2x. Negative times 2x is negative 2x. And negative times a negative is actually a positive 7. So notice how every time you have minus, you're subtracting, it changes everything. It kind of becomes the opposite. So my positive 2x became my negative 2x, and my negative 7 became a positive 7, because that's what happens when you multiply a negative integer. Now, this is not going to change. There's nothing in the front here. It's just a positive. It's as if I had positive. So I'm going to go ahead and keep the same value. So that is negative 3x. I'm just bringing it down. Plus 9. Okay. So combine like terms. Negative 3x can be combined with negative 2x. And again, same signs you add. So we're going to go ahead and keep it at negative 5x. And you have a positive 9 and a 7, and you can just go ahead and add that, and your answer is plus 16. So final answer here is negative 5x plus 16. Let's go ahead and move on. Now with this one here, we're looking at a addition. So adding linear expressions, easy. Because this one, I don't have to worry about changing anything on my second expression. I'm just going to go ahead and combine 11x with 5x, and that's going to give me 16x. And then you have plus 3 minus 9, different signs. We're going to go ahead and subtract 9 minus 3. That's going to give me 6, and I'm going to keep it at negative 6. Why negative? Once again, the 9 absolute value of negative 9 is just 9, and 9 is greater, and that's supposed to be an equal sign. Apologize. 9 is greater than 3. Therefore, I'm going to keep my negative with me. Last one, subtraction. So this is going to change. Once again, we're going to go ahead and take that negative. We're going to multiply it times that negative 12x. And that's going to give us a positive 12x. Negative times a negative is a positive. And a negative times a positive is going to give us a negative 4. And now we're just going to bring our first expression, which is negative x minus 8. And we are ready to combine like terms. So I'm going to go ahead and combine negative x and positive 12x. So combine, different signs we subtract. So that means that we're going to have to take away 1. Remember, there's a 1 here from here. So that's going to give us 11x. 11x, that's 11. Sorry, this is crazy. So 11x, and then you have negative 8 minus 4. Same signs, we're going to go ahead and add. And that's going to give us negative 12, and we keep our answer negative. So your final answer on this one is 11x minus 12. And that is adding and subtracting linear expressions. I'm going to go ahead and give you part 2. So stay tuned for second part.